I'm Frank Vaughn. It's May 24th, 2025. And why isn't May 24th May 2-4 weekend? Why was it last weekend? Doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, it's a Saturday, for heaven's sake. But I digress already. You've seen the aggressive finger pointing in the thumbnail, and I am pointing at all of you, but I'm not pointing at you aggressively. Or maybe it is aggressively, but just aggressive with thanks. I'm the kind of guy who likes to take difficult pathways to my goals. When I play video games, I tend to play games where sudden death is an option. So it's called a hardcore character. So if you play Diablo or you play Grim Dawn or you play any kind of ARPG, you get one life. And if you die, you have to start over. I like that. It sucks, but I like that. When I play strategy games like Europa Universalis or Civilization 4, and I'm talking about years worth of gaming on and off, it's always on hard mode or very hard. It's always with the deck stacked against me so that I can perform. When I go into interviews with other podcasters and YouTubers, I don't do any background research or any preparation because I want to be on the spot. I want to have to pull it right out of here. I like to try and keep myself sharp because I'm never sure that I'm actually any good at anything I do, and I'm not ever sure that I'm actually smart. And the only way to try and train the muscle is to make yourself use it. But at any rate, today's a busy day. I have a lot of stuff going on all day, and then this afternoon I have an important meeting, and then maybe I'll have something to say about the outcome of that meeting. There's some cool stuff happening that I've been at least invited to be a part of, but nothing's formalized yet, so we'll talk about that tomorrow or the next day. But I don't have a lot of time for filming this morning, so I thought this was a great opportunity because I had a donation come in last night. And I'm constantly surprised anytime anybody actually clicks the donate link. Because why would somebody choose to support a channel that's giving you everything up front for free? You literally don't have to pay for anything. It's all just right here. I'll talk to you all equally. Maybe I'll do a live stream either today or tomorrow. I want to do another one. And like when I do, I sift through the comments and I miss probably 70% of them, but I just respond to them in real time. And, you know, I'm not judging anybody for their content model. This is entirely who I am. This is entirely how I do things. I like doing things the hard way. Silly boy who never said I was perfect. But among the rules that I live by when it comes to content creation is I don't thank individual donors. I don't reach out to anybody. It doesn't matter how much you donate. Could be $5, could be $10,000. I've never had a $10,000 donation, but I don't reach out because I don't want to run a pay-for-access junket. But it does present a challenge to me because I do often want to thank donors because you're important. You're going to enable whatever this is to grow and to prosper and to remain a staple, provided Mark Carney doesn't censor it out of existence or someone else doesn't take it away. I want to do this. I want to do this, and I want to do this for a long time. Donors are going to make sure I can do that. And it creates a bit of a situation because I don't want to individually single out anybody. If I develop a relationship with somebody outside of the content creation or outside the comment section, I want that to be organic. I don't want it to be the result of money. And I do have at least a couple people who donate on occasion that I know outside of content creation. But the donative aspect is completely separate from the relationship aspect. And I actually do a lot of preamble in those relationships because I am super concerned that the acquaintances or friendships that I have, which are few and sparing, I find that, in my life at least, as soon as you say something that someone doesn't like, they end up leaving your life. It's very hard to actually retain interpersonal relationships. Or you find out that people that you've built these relationships with, all they want to do is tear you down as you're trying to claw your way up. So it's like, I got this one friend. He likes to send me messages basically telling me that everything that I'm doing is useless. And I spend all kinds of time listening to those messages, time I don't really have. And it's just, I feel like I'm getting beaten for 15 minutes or a half hour every time I listen to one of those messages. So I've just given up. And there's other instances of people recently where it's just they insult and demean my lifestyle. They insult and demean the way I'm raising my kids, and they don't even realize they're doing it. It's like, what's the point? I'm not doing that anymore. My community here on YouTube is far more powerful, far more positive, and amazing. You know, recently when I hurt my neck, which is still getting better, there was such an outpouring of concern and prayers and thoughts and just beautiful engagement. And I really appreciate that. But back to the point. I do appreciate every single person who donates. But I have to resist my urge to reach out individually and acknowledge them. It's just part of the rules that I'm living by. It's part of the rules that I'm building this thing on. And you'll never know whether it's well, let me put this another way. The way you'll know over time that it's not working is, well, I guess I'll have to let you know. The way you'll know it's successful is if you start seeing my face on billboards everywhere, because that's what I'll do. At the moment, some of the things that I want to do are going to require a second car. I can see that. And I'm hesitant to do that because resources are thin. But I'm going to need it. I can't leave the house for days at a time without leaving my wife with a vehicle. We're a single vehicle household. So I'm going to have to correct that if I want to go and start doing some of these events that are starting to fall in my lap, which I think I should do, especially if we're going to try and build some kind of autonomous, sovereignist movement out here in Western Canada, or anything that we get involved in, anything official I get involved in. I live in the middle of nowhere. I can't leave my wife without a car. But that's a thought that I have. Billboards are another thought that I have. Digital advertising. It's another thing that I might want to do. I've been contemplating purchasing a StreamYard license, the professional license. It's like $800 a year. It's an expensive piece of software. I'm using Filmora right now to do my video editing, and I have an XSplit license. Everything that I use, all my imagery or all the software I have, I don't use anything pirated. I pay for all of it. So I bought a lifetime license to XSplit years ago, and that has paid huge dividends. It was so worth the upfront cost. StreamYard doesn't have a lifetime option. It has a yearly expense of like $800. But if I want to start doing interviews and bringing other podcasters on the channel, and there's a lot of interest in that. Clyde Do Something's reached out, and he's been super positive, very helpful of what I'm trying to do. Wyatt Claypool, again, super positive, very helpful of what I'm trying to do. Sean Newman podcast just did that. There's other opportunities out there, and I want to bring these people on my channel and have a conversation with them. And the only real viable way to do that is StreamYard. You could do it through Zoom, I guess, but StreamYard's where it's at. Anyway, all that is to say that other than being able to eat and function, the only thing I want to do, the only things that I have to spend money on at this point in my life is trying to do good things and build a better world. And that sounds utopian, or maybe it sounds overly optimistic, or maybe it sounds fake. I don't know. You be the judge, but that's where I'm at. There isn't much I need anymore. I've got 2 beautiful kids. I've got a wonderful wife. I've got a house to live in. The only thing I don't have is the operating budget to just live out the rest of my days the way that I want to. I have to do something viable. And because I'm me and I'm difficult, doing something viable this way includes all of these convoluted rules, like I don't want to do advertising. I don't want to monetize on YouTube. I don't want to put up paywalls. I don't want to acknowledge individual donors. I do love making things hard on myself. I run against the grain. It's just kind of what I do. But anyway, it's what I'm going to do. And as I sit here, I haven't even finished my coffee yet, so I'm going to have a sip of coffee with you. I literally just got out of bed not long ago. As I sit here getting ready for the day and doing the things that I'm going to do, I wanted to say I appreciate all of it. It's not lost on me how wonderful all of you are. And it's not just those who click the donate link. I love you guys. I mean, you make it possible. And you're going to make it possible through the future. And you're going to generate an operating budget, which I'm going to spend to try and help fix the country. If I can't fix the country, I'm going to try and fix the province. If I can't do that, I'm just going to try and make the world a better place. That's all I want to do now. I'm 45 years old. All I want to do with the rest of my days is just try to make the world a better place. It's just, it sounds like a scripted line, but it's literally all I think about. I wake up in the morning, I try to think, how can I do a good thing today? How can I try to influence things in the right direction? Not just for my kids, but for everybody's kids. How can I try and save Western civilization? It's so highfalutin. But God has given me this audience, this platform, clearly a voice that people want to listen to. And that's another thing. It's so weird. Being inside of myself, knowing who I am, knowing how I am, I have no clue what I sound like to other people. I have no idea why people tune in. Like I'm just me. I'm just me being me. So it always seems kind of surprising. But it's not just the donative aspect of it. It's also the engagement. I got a dedicated audience. Like, you guys are amazing. You're in there liking all the videos. You're always commenting. You're always feeding the algorithm. You're doing everything that you can to organically push the channel forward in spite of all of the obstacles that I've set up for us by not monetizing and all the things that I've just said. And it's working. Maybe it's not working at a breakneck, light speed. Maybe we're not growing as fast as we should be, but we're growing and we're retaining what we gain. We're not losing people. We're keeping them. And I'm finding, too, as we move forward, even when there's disagreement, people are sticking around. It's not the ultimatums and I ran into one guy yesterday. He was upset that I said a chiropractor saved my life. There's nothing I can do about that. He thinks that chiropractology is fake news. And if that's the thing that, as he said, I've lost all respect for you. And if it wasn't all respect, it's I've lost respect for you because I endorsed chiropractology as a practical solution. I don't know what to do. If that's what drives you away, that's on you, man. But I took the time to explain to him. It was 2018, and I was crippled. I was in bed probably 20 hours a day, 21 hours a day. I was laying flat on my back for a while. The problem really started to set in October, November of 2017. By January, I was bedridden. It was bad. It was really bad. I was in so much pain. I had to lay there for an hour to 2 hours just so that I could get up for 10 minutes. I don't want to get into TMI, but my life was very inconvenient, and I was in a pretty dark place. I actually said to my wife, some point in early 2018, I tried to have a conversation with her about leaving me because I felt like I had nothing to offer. We didn't have any kids at that point. It's an amazing thing that she came home September of that. It blows my mind when I think about how my life changed, because in September of that year, after one of the best seasons we'd ever had, she came home pregnant she came home from market. And revealed that she was pregnant. And I'll never forget that image. She comes in with the cube van. She backs it up the driveway. I'm out there to help her unload it because I was at home and I was starting to make videos again. I believe that was the sequence of events anyway. I wasn't at market that day. And she grabbed that big cube van door and she popped open the latch and she threw it open and she put the latch and she turned around and she said, "So, I'm pregnant." And my life changed forever. And I took a couple steps back and I just stood there looking at her, because I didn't go running and hugging her. I actually took 2 steps backwards and I was looking at her. She said, "It's a little late for that." Oh, man. What a moment that was. And then I took her inside to the sunroom and I sat her down on the far side of the sunroom and I sat on the other side of the sunroom and I looked at her and I contemplated. I gave her a hug, of course, but like I just wanted to look at her and contemplate the magic and the mystery of the ultimate form of femininity, which is motherhood, and that everything had changed and that, I needed to sink into that moment. But anyway, I digress. That was September of that year. In January, February, I was bedridden, thinking about, asking her if she would just leave because I felt like I was crippled and had nothing to offer. Now, she called me a fool and shut it down pretty quick, but that was the mindset I was in. At any rate, my doctor at the time, he said that major surgery, painkillers, and I didn't really want to get into the painkillers. I didn't really like the option of surgery. Like it was a pretty bleak forecast. So I went to a chiropractor, a man named McCoy, based in Brighton, Ontario. And he's also a radiologist. So he ordered images. And I remember, I believe it was March. It was either late February or early March. I think it was March. I drove into, it was either Trenton or it was Belleville. I think it was Belleville. And I had to have imaging done on my back. And I laid there on the waiting room floor, like literally laying in the middle of the waiting room. People probably thought I was a freak. It was the only way I could function because the drive there was so painful. It was excruciating. I missed Belleville. I probably shouldn't have been driving. I was in such pain. I missed the turnoff for Belleville and I had to turn around and go back. But I get there and I'm laying on the floor and then I gimp myself into the imaging room and they image my back and I get my stuff. And before I got in the car, I had to lay on the floor again. I was laying on their waiting room floor like 20, 30 minutes to just get enough relief so I could get in the car and drive home. It was crazy. The levels of pain were crazy. And anyway, I went into McCoy's office the next day or 2 days later, and he showed me what was wrong with my back. And I've still got the images somewhere. I've lost track of them, but I know they're in this house somewhere. They're on a CD somewhere. I paid $5 for it. You have your spine, and then you could see the discs individually getting further out of alignment because they were adjusting for it was either my L4 or my L5 vertebrae was twisted, like 35 degrees out of alignment, and it was stuck there. So that little fin that's on the back of your spine, it was like way over, and the thing was stuck there, and you could see the disc bulging out the side of it. And he showed me it, and he's like, "That's your problem, and I'm going to fix it today." And so he got out his little hammer, and he started banging on that vertebrae, and I felt it. I felt the disc sliding back into place. And when it snapped completely back into place, and the bulge must have snugged back in at the same time, I don't know. I don't know the physics of it. I felt what I would describe as white pain, a pain that was pure, intense, but also really good. Like it hurt so much and felt so good at the same time. I remember that too. It was a signature pain that I've never felt again. And I went back and I seen him 7 or 8 more times. I didn't need any of those visits. That $120 restored me to function, and I went on to have the best year in my farming career before Amanda came home pregnant. So that's what happened. Anyway, that's the point is that if a guy loses respect for me because I tell that story and I relate how that man saved my life and gave me back my life, I haven't been to a chiropractor in years. It wasn't like 2 times a week for the rest of your life. It was basically one and done. Now, I did try and go back at another point when I was leaving Ontario. My back was getting really bad, and the chiropractor visits didn't do anything to relieve it. And it was because it was psychosomatic or stress-induced, the result of inflammation. It was a very stressful move. dropping my life, dropping my business, loading everything on a truck, and driving out here, never having seen the house that I was going to, let alone ever seeing the province. You know, you're worried about everything working out. You're deconstructing a life. You've got a limited time window. Yeah, it was pretty bad, but I got out here, and within 2 weeks, it basically cleared itself up. My back is still a problem at times, but I am functional, and I am happy. And McCoy, the chiropractor, he's the guy who gave it back to me. So, at any rate, that was a big segue into a long story. But the point I think I started out with was that kind of absolutism where you say one thing that somebody doesn't agree with and they just leave the channel, we're not seeing that as much anymore. And when I say we, because you're going to find this too as we move forward through time, I'm constantly going to refer to our work or what we are doing. We is me with you and everybody around me, my kids and my wife and you guys and like everybody that helps make this happen. That's the we. There's no editor. There's nobody. I don't have staff. There's no conspiracy. There's nobody paying me. It's just us. That's the we. And I would much rather say we than I, because it is a collective effort. I might be the guy in front of the camera doing the work, but without you guys and without the people around me giving me the support to say and encourage me to do it, it doesn't happen. Anyway, I really wanted to film a specific video saying thank you in a general way, because the way that I'm doing things, I can never acknowledge the individual. And I know that puts up a barrier, so be it. I'm not here to run a pay for access thing. I'm here to do everything the hard way, organically, from the bottom up. And I have nothing but respect for everybody's business model. There's nothing wrong with making money. There's nothing wrong with advertising and sponsorships and all the things that other people do. This is a non-judgmental thing. It's just the way that I'm doing things. And I thank you for everything. I'm Frank Vaughn. I'll see you in the next one. Did you know that I have a website? frankvaughn.ca, the ultimate repository for all of my work, and a backup location just in case the censors come for me again. And if you like the content, please consider using the donate link in one of the options available. There are no paywalls, there is no advertising, and there is no Patreon, and I intend to keep it that way. Thank you for your time and your consideration.